Welcome to the 1970s Gladiator Round Tournament. Today's matchup features Frank Zane versus Albert Beckles, and this is the last of the second round matches. This is a good one, a very, very good comparison. A little bit hard to judge and pick a winner in this front relaxed position. When I look at the upper body, just based on the arms and the chest, and maybe the abs, I'm going to give this to Frank Zane for sure. But then when I look at the leg development, it looks like Albert Beckles is dwarfing Frank Zane, not only in the size, but look at the definition, the cuts on Al Beckles' legs. Now when I say maybe in the abs there, I would probably go with Al Beckles as far as the entire waist is concerned. Look at how much smaller of a waistline he has than Frank Zane. Zane's waistline actually isn't that small when considering the width of his shoulders and things of that nature. This is a tough one to pick a winner in. I'm going to go slightly with Al Beckles. That silhouette, that small little tiny waist is just a smidgen the clincher in this one, but man, is it close. Now, there is no doubt in my mind Al Beckles takes this one in the front double bicep. Look at the size of those legs. Frank Zane really needed to pick up the pace as far as the size of his legs are concerned. Of course, he's a three-time Mr. Olympia champion, so I can't argue with his success. But I'm a different judge than those guys were, evidently. I place a great deal of emphasis on the size of the legs when it concerns the upper body. Frank is winning in the ab development, and that's about it. Maybe the lats, perhaps, but that little tiny waist of Al Beckles, just incredible silhouette there. But when you look at the biceps, Al Beckles possesses two of the best biceps, just incredible shape and hard graininess. Al Beckles picks up an easy point in this one, in my opinion. Now, in the front lat spread, Zane picks up an equally easy point here, just dwarfing poor little Al Beckles. Not the best pose for Al Beckles. I'm surprised he has that little tiny waist. He just never really knew how to strike this properly. Frank Zane just looks like a statue here in this. The small little wee legs doesn't really hurt him in this pose at all. Frank Zane picks up an easy, it should be a double pointer here. Of course, he just gets 1 point, 2-1 for Al Beckles. The side chest pose might create some controversy, I suppose. This is a very bad picture of Frank Zane, a terrible one at best. Of the 1980 Olympia. He wasn't in good shape at all. But this is the only side chest competition ready I could find. There was several photo shoot pictures, but I'm not using them. And I have to say, I think Al Beckles would defeat Zane anyway. So I think this is okay. But I don't think he'd be beating him this handily. I mean, Zane looks terrible here. Al Beckles, like I said, he'd probably be winning anyway. So Beckles picks up another very vital point here. And if there was controversy in the side chest pose, then I definitely expect some controversy here in the side tricep. Frank will be getting one back. I just cannot vote against that tricep. His physique just flows so perfect here. The aesthetics, I give a 10 plus. Yes, the conditioning appears to be much better in Al Beckles' part. This is an old, blurry picture of Zane. You can't really say for sure his conditioning is as good as Al Beckles or not. But one thing is for sure, that flow, that silhouette, I just have to give it to Zane. Look at the size of his tricep itself. It is bigger than Al Beckles. Even though the rest of his physique appears to be much smaller. This is just the epitome of a side tricep pose. So, like I said, Al Beckles could be getting this one when you consider his conditioning. I just do not like his posture, the way he's posing this, but his tricep itself does look good. Now, this was a difficult decision to make here in the rear double bicep pose. Man, oh man, both guys have a case for a win in this one for sure. Look at those lower lat insertions on the part of Al Beckles, and that Christmas tree is perfect. Now, when you look at the V taper, appeared to be a smaller waist on the part of Al Beckles, but here when they turn around, Frank Zane is the master of display. He's He knows how to display his upper back to make his waist appear to be so much smaller, and Al Beckles is kind of suffering in that aspect. Zane picks up a point here, but it is definitely not a big point. This one could go either way, in my opinion. Now, here in the most muscular, and this pose belongs to Al Beckles. Never a strong pose for Zane. He does all he can here with a very aesthetic version. The hands on hips actually looks pretty good, but Al Beckles looks like a beast. He looks fantastic. Look at those delts, those arms, and the pecs. Definitely getting an edge on this. If it had been a more of an aesthetic pose, like an ab and thigh, or maybe even a front double bicep, might even have gave this to Zane, but Al Beckles is just too much in this pose. And speaking of the ab and thigh, this one aesthetically goes to Frank Zane without any doubt. Now, those legs of Al Beckles, I could see an argument for him winning this pose, but in my opinion, there's just no way. Frank Zane takes this one for sure. He gets a 10 plus as far as that aesthetics are concerned. What a great bodybuilder. So this is the last pose. We're out a rear lat spread for both of these gentlemen, and this is an exact tie. So there always is going to be a little bit of a controversy between these two in this matchup. I dug up this here comparison, which is pretty equal. There's only one back shot, so I figured to throw in one more back shot would be fair. And I have to say, both guys do look good, but Beckles just looks great. I have to say that lower lat insertions are just unbeatable when it comes to this comparison. Look at the size of those legs. This time, really outshining Zane's. So this is a very close contest, and I expect some controversy, but hey, this is Al Beckles we're dealing with here. He's a top-ranked bodybuilder on any bodybuilding stage. So Beckles just barely advances on. And he will face Arnold Schwarzenegger. I expect that match to be fairly competitive. Wow, there's just 2 more matches before the final matchup in this tournament. Robbie Robinson goes head-to-head against Lou Ferrigno, and that is definitely one that I and you guys can look forward to. Hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day.